Captain America goes woke. Hey, he's always been woke. That's right, we're talking Uncanny Avengers, number 3 on The Newest Mutants. Hello, it is I, Laz, your favorite Avenger, and I read comics so you don't have to. Before we get into Uncanny Avengers numero tres, that's 3, in case you don't know Espanol, I'd like to extend to you an invitation to like this video and or subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. And now, X-Men, assemble. Or is it Avengers to me? Let's go. Our story begins a little bit where we left off last time. Of course, before it really gets going, Deadpool makes a joke about a woman with a blindfold and a rifle to Black Widow. Anyhow, let's get started. Quicksilver is concerned about the mutants trying to oust Cap as leader of the Unity Squad. Psylocke is now in agreement. It mentions if Cap gets killed by Captain Krakoa, mutants won't be just fighting Orcus. They'll be fighting everyone. Suddenly, a wild rogue appears. Steve Rogers sent her a distress code. She's like, catch up with me as fast as you can. And of course, Quicksilver makes it competitive as they race to the location of Captain America's distress call. Where are they going? The treehouse, the former home of the X-Men. And here we find Steve Rogers giving a speech. What? First, he says he sent a false distress signal, and that would get an Avenger kicked off the team. But he did it to make a point. He wanted America, no, the world, to see what kind of people who would race as fast as they could to save Captain America. And he points out that there are a lot of mutants on this team. Someone in the crowd heckles Cap and is like, the mutants attacked us. Cap is like, this is America. People are innocent until proven guilty. He also proclaims that he knows Cyclops is not Captain Krakoa, and someone then throws a drink at Captain America, which prompts a reaction from Deadpool, but Cap stops him, brushing the drink off like it was nothing, and continues his speech. It's a very Obama style, we're all Americans type of speech. No red states, blue states, only purple states, United States kind of thing. We briefly cut to MODOK, Fei Long, and Dr. Stasis, and Fei Long is like, Cap is killing us here. Stasis says, hey, we're gonna need a trial, like Cyclops or Xavier. Back down to Captain America. He's having a back and forth with some people in the audience, but in the end, he really wants to change the hearts and mind and says Americans shouldn't be afraid of different races, the poor, people who are addicted to drugs or alcohol, what people read, what people wear, political differences, or how someone lives their lives. He says Americans should be skeptical of people who tell you to be afraid of the person standing next to you. After Captain America's speech, we get some reacts from the X-Men. Also, the old lady who threw her drink at Cap apologizes, but she's like, I always hated the X-Men anyways. Watching the speech was Ben Urich, and Ben approaches Captain America, and Captain America says he's got a meeting later that Ben will want to be a part of. Captain America and Rogue are now having a conversation, and he knows about the human witness to the Hellfire Gala Massacre and asks her to get an introduction of that witness with Ben Urich. Rogue is on it. Penance and Quicksilver tell Steve they've got a lead they want to follow up on, and he agrees to let them do that. Traveling at the speed of Quicksilver now, Pietro is carrying Penance, and while he is, she gently moves his arm from her upper back to her lower back. Ooh. The two of them end up at a perfumery, and they share a little flirtatious banter before Penance talks about her previous fight with the Fenris Twins. She said she smelled a familiar fragrance and wanted to follow up at this particular establishment. However, Fenris was already there, and a fight ensues. Fenris starts off by blasting a load-bearing column, which forces Penance to literally carry the building while Quicksilver deals with the twins. And also using his speed, Quicksilver allows Penance to stop carrying the building as he rapidly repairs the column. Pretty smooth moves, Quicksilver. With their work handled, the twins are on the ground, and Monet and Pietro are trying to get some information from them. Where's the bomb? Who is Captain Krakoa? The twins, they won't talk. Captain Krakoa would kill them. That's when Quicksilver's building repairs start to fail, and Penance once again has to hold up the building. More concerned with Monet than the twins, the twins escape when Pietro goes to help Penance. Luckily, Pietro slipped their Avengers ID cards onto the twins so they could be tracked. But then Pietro and Monet kiss. Aw, very cute. I like it. With that, they speed back to their Ellis Island Avengers base. So now we're back with Captain America and Ben Urich, and they're together, and he's like, I've arranged a meeting with the human witness, Ben, and that witness is the Kingpin. And that's the book! Welcome now to the part of the show where I like to thank you for making it this far, and I ask a question regarding the issue, and today's question is, how cute are Quicksilver and Penance? Come on. Like, Pietro is a dude to me who's just like always angry or unhappy or like annoyed. Very kind of an old school feel for Quicksilver. So seeing him flirt and sort of being human really works for me. Not much of a question, but we already knew about Kingpin being the human witness from, my observations on the last Uncanny Avengers video. But let me know in the comments if you like this new mutant couple, or could they do better? With that, let us give credit where credit's due. First, let's check out the cover I have, which is the Nicholas Bradshaw variant cover. Very nice design. The original cover for the book right here was done by Javier Garron and Maury Hollowell. Our writer for the book is Jerry Duggan. Emilio Liso is our artist, Maury Hollowell. Once again, our color artist letterer is Travis Lanham. And as always, Marvel's editor-in-chief, Mr. C.B. Cebulski. Okay, let's get to our takeaways. First, the Captain America speech. It's very sad that we have to repeat this sort of thing over and over and over again, but so many Americans and so many comic book fans don't get it, especially X-Men fans. They see fighting in action and they're like, I like fighting in action, but they don't look at the deeper meaning sometimes behind comic books, that there is very much a social justice bent to a lot of characters and a lot of comics. This is my takeaway. I'm keeping it to that. Captain America's gone woke. Always has been. Also, I was right about the Kingpin. Of course, I've been reading this the entire time, so I knew it. But having Ben work with Kingpin on this, it's huge, right? He put the Kingpin away in a very big series for, in Daredevil, right? The trial of the Kingpin, all that. I think it was Daredevil, please. If it was Spider, it could be Spider-Man. But you know what I'm talking about. It was a big deal. Anyways, the majority of this episode is setting up our climactic final issues of this run. So, who will the mutants try to nuke? What will they do with the nuke? Will we find out who Captain Krakoa is? Well, we will, but not until the next issue, I believe. So, let's check out my favorite panels. My third favorite panel belongs here to this image of the Avengers assembling behind Captain America. I love it. They're all in action poses, arriving in a pretty sick fashion. It's highly detailed, great composition as well. Also, you know me, I like these large page-sized panels. Take a gander, enjoy it. My second favorite panel belongs here to this racing panel between Rogue and Quicksilver. Kind of a classic hero vibe, right? Two fast characters going, as fast as they can in a race is always really cool. I dig this one a lot, especially since Pietro is running over water. Pretty cool. But my favorite panel, and you may have guessed it, is our final page reveal here. And we see the ominous shadow of the Kingpin looming over Captain America and Ben Urich. What a way to end this book. Really great panel at the top, and the smaller and more detailed panel with Wilson Fisk is awesome too. Look at his face. Fantastic. And that's the show. But before I go, I always have to share a comic from my collection, and one that is somewhat relevant, hopefully. And that is today X-Men 200, right? The Trial of Magneto. Of course, issue 200 features the Fenris Twins right here on the cover. You can see them right there. So it's a pretty big issue also being 200. Anyways, that's it for this time. Join me on our next episode when we talk Ms. Marvel number 3 on The Newest Mutants!